The Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet.
Hey, what up, YouTube fam? It's Dupree, aka Darth Hater, here with some fresh, brand new Star Wars news for you. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And also don't forget to check out my last video because it greatly helps out the channel. So let's get into it. It's the new year and we're going to get into the next two episodes of Star Wars Skeleton Crew. I know I've been a little lagging on that, but we're going to do 2 episodes at a time now just to keep it concise. So in the third episode, Skeleton Crew settles into what the meat of the show is probably going to look like. The kids follow a lead to get them closer to their homeworld of At-Aten, and adults, their parents, and their ship's newest crew member, played by JudeLaw, toss out some breadcrumbs to the larger mysteries. And if this episode is in particular anything to go by, that format might actually just work out fine. It's easy to imagine a world where Skeleton Crew was a traditional TV show with a 20-episode season, the kids encountering new adventures and characters and new plans every week until the young actors started to awkwardly age out of their roles. But enough about the kids who we learn here somehow don't even know that the Star Wars is happening. The hero of very interesting as the aforementioned JudeLaw, who makes a proper debut here as John Nawood. Or is he a disgraced pirate, Captain Silvo? Or is he the feared criminal known as Crimson Jack? Whatever his real name is, Smart Money is on one of those. We definitely know he's a Jedi or actually has the Force, except he never actually told the kids he's a Jedi. He just let them believe it because he evidently does have Force powers. The mystery of At-Aten is a driving plot of the Skeleton Crew, and we get some answers in this episode. The planet was the jewel of the Old Republic era and has been purposely erased from all modern space maps. But the more intriguing are the ones surrounding Nawood's true identity. Skeleton Crew deserves some credit for not treating us like we're stupid, with half of the children immediately clocking that he's probably lying about being a Jedi. SM-33 can hardly contain his hatred for this man who seems to believe that a droid's place is in the kitchen. The show is opening the doors for viewers to realize that it would be silly to just trust that he's a Jedi, and we've already gotten apparent confirmation of that by the end of the episode, paired with the elegant sidestep of the question about why he seemingly has the Force powers. This is clearly as a kid-friendly, kid-centric show, and a series with less confidence in itself and its young viewers would drag that question out as long as possible. Establishing that no, he's probably not a Jedi leaves you with why does he have Force powers and why does he have 3 names, which are better mysteries. Also, he could still be a Jedi, and that would be a great plot twist. Captain Crimson, Joe Nawood Silva, or whatever he's called aside, you can't talk about astrogation without talking about the woman who delivers the title line. Skeleton Crew drags out the reveal of Kim. She's some kind of fun owl cat wearing a cape. A lot of Star Wars leans on familiarity for its alien designs, with Disney knowing that older fans enjoy seeing the same dozen or so weirdo creatures from most likely Cantina. But then again, Kim and her environment, which was obviously designed for small things that can fly, suggests that this franchise still has some juice. Kim's design is also a reflection of the wacky sense of humor that Skeleton Crew is embracing, though it could stand to embrace a little harder. Don't forget that The Goonies, Skeleton Crew's most obvious pop point of inspiration, had a ton of silly humor aside from its wide-eyed entertainment. The joke of SM-33's name is still bad, but the running gag of the white rat thing scurrying out of his eye hole is almost in every scene and then crucially never coming back inside, even though it's inevitably comes out scurrying again later, is solid. If Skeleton Crew finds more room to do that, maybe 10 more times, it will generally be hilarious by the end. And then we come to episode 4, and who said Skeleton Crew was just Star Wars Goonies? Because this episode offers up another beloved reference point, and for once not even from the 80s. And this Skeleton Crew's best episode so far actually goes for something more akin to Doctor Who, complete with a trip to a planet with central thematic gimmick. 2 factions, the Triarch and the Hatan, are locked in a self-perpetuating generational spanning conflict, and even a lesson that the characters can take home. The real strength is sometimes found in kindness and not in fighting. Helps that the episode centers on the best member of Skeleton Crew, Neil. The kids of the crew remain pretty one note whilst the young actors are all doing their best with what they're given. There are one or two who could possibly stand to be given more. Neil gets more in this episode, spending some time with a warrior girl named Haina, who initially takes his reluctance to join his friends and playing around with guns as a snobbish attitude towards weapons that aren't as big as the bus. Haina's intrigued when she learns that the Neil's actually just nice and doesn't like fighting even with his tiny siblings. Learned about him on his homeworld, at least plants the idea that Haina's head that fighting a meaningless war forever is kind of stupid. Particularly big lesson for Neil to impart, considering that, as we learned last week, these kids don't even know that the Galactic Civil War happened. It took something like 8 movies before anyone else in Star Wars questioned whether or not the whole thing was a mistake, and the conclusion was no, it wasn't. This all happens on a planet called Akron, which is where the coordinates the crew got last week actually sent them, instead of their home world of Ad-Aden. At Akron, it turns out it's identical to Ad-Aden. It's just been ravaged by endless wars. The switch up reveals has the potential to be so terrifying that it's possibly smart that the show doesn't lay it on too thick. That's not to say it doesn't feel unnerving, though locations that the kids recognize, most notably their school, or creepy bombed out ruins. What does that say about Ad-Aden? It's another good hook to pull us through along with the central mystery. That great spooky twist leads to a couple of others, like the fact that SM-33 has been to this planet before, and then his oft-repeated utterance of the episode's title line, "Can't say I remember no Ad-Aden," is some kind of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. type mystery memory wipe trigger phrase. Remember that? This bit was a little predictable, but Skeleton Crew wisely doesn't linger on it as some of the other unthinkable betrayal. SM-33 was always a kind of off-putting, and the crew shouldn't have trusted him in the first place. The shift to sort of an Evil Dead type direction when 33 turns bad was seemingly a camera swap to a physical droid puppet. It also is a little off-putting since it seems unusual artful or this to indeed any other Star Wars show. Also, with SM-33 becoming a bad guy, JudeLaw's Joe Nawood has the "I don't trust this guy" burden removed from his shoulders, and he's free to spend the episode goofing off. He fires off a couple solid gags in this episode, including immediately surrendering to Hahatan militia and question that they just kill him. And then he's considered whether or not he's their number of animal hides will he be willing to trade for the kids. The lingering question after last week was whether or not it would retain fun to watch him play off the crew. As a matter of fact, this is all still fun. The crew is making just enough progress. Also, with SM-33 becoming a bad guy, progress getting home each week, and it doesn't feel like anyone's wasting time. So far, these 2 episodes have been pretty good. Little world building and, kind of pulling us along for the mystery. But hey, we're all invested in the show. And I will cover next week's episode and the following episode from the next week in the next video. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about these 2 episodes of Skeleton Crew. Are you still following along? Which ones have been your favorites so far? Episode 4 has been my favorite, with Neil taking center point. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And as always, if you guys like this video, please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to this channel, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell to get notifications for all my latest videos. That would be great. Anyway, guys, take care. See you in the next one. May the force be with you. Bye.